Check out what this man's GoPro films while he's hiking this mountain trail. Man, life comes at you fast. What is up, guys? I am Lincoln. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. I hope you enjoy. Security footage in Ohio captures the moment a tornado moves over its property and onto the boat dock. Those canoes didn't stand a chance. It wrecked everything in its way, not only the boats, but the dock. Winds were said to have reached over 100 miles per hour. It tosses them around like they're loose pieces of trash. Check this footage out. Taken from a security camera at an unknown location, we begin with several odd light-like objects speeding past this camera. Now, before we even get into it, someone said these are insects. I'm not buying it. White, ghostly figures appear running along the outside of a fence. Suddenly, some of these figures leap over the fence and land motionless on the ground. Some viewers have suggested these strange shapes might just be deer. But the way they land, still, kind of like a sack of potatoes, makes me doubt that theory. Now, after these guys show up, and at a time when it seems the video couldn't get any stranger, a long trail of light appears at the top of the screen. What is that? This is undoubtedly one of the most bizarre videos I've encountered. Could these mysterious white figures be ghosts or some other type of supernatural entities? If anyone has any insight into this footage, I'm all ears. Okay, watch closely. We're going to see some shadowy figures off to the left. It almost looks like a woman in a nightgown or a flowy dress. And the second clip is even clearer. And instead of one, in this clip it looks like there are two figures in the back left of the screen. Now, while I think behind this apartment complex this is a pretty creepy area, and it wouldn't surprise me if something like this went down, but my only hang-up is that the figures are blurry. I guess you could say in an unnatural way. Eager to hear your thoughts. In March of this year, a group of friends set out on a road trip in a camper. As they approached a remote, densely wooded area, they decided to pull over briefly. The quiet of the surroundings was suddenly broken when one friend spotted a shadowy, hooded figure lurking in the brush watching them. Quickly, panic set in, and they scrambled to secure the camper. In the chaos, one of them was smart and caught the figure on camera. However, when they went to look at the video, it was pretty short. With nerves frayed, they locked themselves in, unsure if this guy would return. Everyone is still on edge, but out of nowhere the footage cuts off.
Close the door, close the door. Close the door. Lock the door. Close it.
She was right there.
Let me see. No, I caught it on camera. Somebody right there. Is it locked?
Really?
He's not there anymore.
You caught it on camera?
I saw it.
No.
Yo, he's not there anymore.
There.
Yo, there's nobody there now. Holy crap, yo, there's nobody. What? Yo, look. Yo, what the hell? Yo, I'm scared.
We assume they managed to drive away safely, but unfortunately the unsettling figure remains a mystery. Many viewers noted that it looked almost demonic, wearing the cloak, unnaturally thin. I will say that most people thought this was a person, not that that makes it any less dangerous. All I know is that it probably took them a while to shake this feeling. And whether it was a cryptid or some disturbed individual, I know this experience left them rattled. In this next clip, some paranormal experts suggest that this image shows the spirit of an accident victim. And that victim is attempting to warn this young girl about her not having her seatbelt on. In November of 2016, Melissa Kurtz was driving her daughter Harper to a beauty pageant. 13-year-old Harper, looking for entertainment, took a few selfies. Unaware of the eerie image that would show itself in the photo. Now, both mother and daughter insist that they were alone in the car. Yet as you can see, a pale, curly-haired boy appears in the back seat. Obviously disturbed by the photo, Kurtz investigated the stretch of road where it was taken and found that the boy's image matched the unfortunate victim's photo. A tragic accident had happened on that stretch of highway 4 years ago. Although experts have attempted to debunk the photo, they have yet to offer an explanation. One investigator speculated that the boy may be the accident victim, now trying to warn Harper about her seatbelt. Kurtz believes her daughter has always attracted supernatural phenomena, noting that orbs of light frequently appear in photos of her. She also shared that when Harper was young, she was once found drawing strange symbols on a window. When researched, these symbols were found to resemble glyphs, telling the story of Archangel Raphael. Now, with that being said, what is really happening in this image? Could Harper have a connection to supernatural energy, which might draw the young boy's spirit to her? Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you know anyone else that has these capabilities. Alright, this next clip comes from the YouTube channel The Third Phase of the Moon. This mysterious footage just surfaced in South America. Now we're showing the original video alongside an enhanced version. Brightness and contrast were added so we can get a closer look at what we're dealing with here. Well, it's pretty bizarre. A classic flying saucer shape hovers silently in the sky, but it has these unusual long appendages extending downwards. They kind of look like some type of landing gear. But the crazy part is that this thing isn't about to land. It's just floating in the air. Experts that have seen the video say that it looks like this is interacting with something below. Another theory is that it could be gathering samples from the atmosphere. Could those long structures be reaching out to analyze the environment? In the last part, we see that there's a little glow. A strange light seems to emanate from underneath the craft. Gives it almost a ghost-like illumination. Personally, I think the crazy part is that there's no explanation as to why it's staying in the air. No engines, propellers, no noise, basically no propulsion. But the no sound is probably the weirdest part. I mean, even a drone makes some noise. Well, whatever it is, it doesn't fit into the conventional framework of flying objects, so I'm as mystified as you are. Filmed just last month, this video uploaded by a girl named Jessica shared a strange experience her father had been dealing with. Recently, he noticed that the motion sensor lights in his backyard were being triggered constantly. He checks his phone, he pops up, he goes outside to look around and investigate. Nothing's there. He kind of shrugged it off and just figured something was triggering it, or maybe the equipment was malfunctioning. As the days turned into weeks and this kept happening, he got more and more frustrated and was determined to get to the bottom of it. This time he set up a security camera that never turns off. What he captured was far from what he expected. A white shadowy figure appears to glide back and forth across the yard. Now I think we can all agree this shape seems to resemble a human both in height and size, but what could it be? Skeptics have tried to dismiss this footage, suggesting it could be something right in front of the lens. Some bugs, spider, fingerprints, which, and I'll admit, can sometimes create strange visual effects, but in this case, the figure appears to be a pretty good distance from the camera, out in the middle of the yard. Anyhow, the family is stunned by what they have captured on camera. They've lived here for 11 years and they're really starting to question everything. Help them out if you have any ideas. This clip showcases what we've come to know as zombie deer. Of course, they're not technically zombies, but they are deer. Deer that are suffering from chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, is a fatal neurological illness that affects deer. CWD is a part of a group of diseases called TSEs. They're caused by abnormal proteins called prions. These prions trigger a chain reaction in the brain, gradually destroying neural tissue, leading to symptoms that give the deer a zombie-like appearance. Infected animals may show signs like severe weight loss, excessive drooling and salivation, loss of coordination, staggering gait. A big one is the loss of fear of humans or predators. The disease progresses slowly, sometimes over several years, with symptoms often becoming visible only in advanced stages. Worst of all, CWD is highly contagious and spreads through direct contact with infected animals, as well as through contaminated soil, water, and plants. As of now, there is no documented cases of CWD transmission to humans, but stay safe out there, my friends.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
He's freaking awesome.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
He's freaking awesome.
This next clip talks about a family that is camping in Kansas when they spot something unusual. Not far from the road in a nearby field, they spotted a creature that looked like a Bigfoot trying to sneak away from this area, trying to be undetected. They quickly grabbed their camera to capture the moment. And yes, the camera footage isn't the best, but it's in the early 2000s. We can clearly see the video showing a dark, hairy figure slowly moving across the field and the tree line. There were definitely some haters in the comments, and they were saying that it's so hard to gauge the creature's size from the video, and that it doesn't look very big. Then we had other speculators talking about it being a hoax. But for me, I just think it could be a younger Bigfoot. Maybe it's a teenage Bigfoot. Experts say that Bigfoot creatures can vary in size and shape much like humans and other animals. But if I could, observe the creature's gait. This is where it feels a little unusual. If anything to me, this is the part that makes it feel staged or feel like a person in a costume. A YouTuber named Maximum Fear brought up a good point. If it were a hoax, wouldn't the video have steadier footage? That makes you think. Nevertheless, do we think this family truly captured a Sasquatch? My algo has got locked into these long casting videos, and that's in a shark's mouth. Yeah, so these guys have these giant surf rods and they throw them a mile, and then some attach cameras to them. So if you were ever wondering what the inside of a shark's mouth looked like, there you go. Alright, check this one out. In December of 2019, a group of 5 boys was spearfishing at an undisclosed location in the Philippines. Since they had caught a bunch of fish in the past, they decided to record their adventure this time. As the boys are introducing themselves to the camera, something bizarre happens. Right behind them, a mysterious figure suddenly appears. If you pay close attention, you'll notice a shadowy shape moving swiftly toward the river. The boys didn't realize it at the time, and by the time they reached the river just moments later, the mysterious figure had vanished. And I have to say that that is pretty creepy. Let's dig in. What could this have been? Unfortunately, I couldn't find any more information about this footage. The original uploader said that this is most likely an indigenous group known as the Batak tribe, and they are said to live deep within the forest of the Philippines. With that being said, this figure could have just been a member of the tribe. But a lot of people think it's something more mysterious. So here's the deal. Some guys decided to head out one night armed with a flashlight and a camera, hoping to track down a mysterious creature they'd heard about. They were wandering around in the dark when something unexpected happened. As they were walking, the camera picked up something pretty creepy in the distance. You can see it for yourself. A shadowy figure just moving through the darkness. And your first thought is that it definitely shouldn't be there. One of the guys noticed it first and shouted, which seemed to have provoked whatever it was. In a matter of seconds, the creature charged right at them, knocking the camera to the ground. You can hear the chaos happening in the background as the camera briefly catches the creature running away. And then, nothing. Everything goes quiet. Thankfully, none of the guys were seriously hurt, and they made it home in one piece. And as far as the footage, it's pretty intense. For me, what's wild is how real this thing seems. It doesn't have that obvious hoax vibe that you see in a lot of videos. The way its body was moving and its sudden aggression just seemed to give it a little bit more legitimacy. Then again, on the flip side, the fact that these guys were able to get this close to this and managed to walk away unharmed, that definitely sows a few seeds of doubt. Let me know your thoughts. So a family in northern Minnesota were having Christmas dinner when it took a startling turn. No, Uncle Jerry didn't bring up politics, even though he probably should have. But it was more so of an unexpected visitor. A few of the family members noticed unusual movements outside in their yard while they were eating. And of course they thought it would be a good idea to take a closer look. So one member, along with their dog, ventured outside and witnessed what appeared to be a Sasquatch moving among the trees in the distance. I always go to the animal, and the dog's reaction is telling. It seemed ready to fight this presence, but also a little fearful. After several tense moments looking in the snowy woods, a shadowy figure emerged. And yes, it looks exactly like a Sasquatch. Large, bipedal, ape-like, covered in hair. What do you guys think? Do we have a legitimate sighting here?
Northwest side. A7AGG, W7WFP. Oh, now we've got an eruption down here. Now we got a big slide coming off. The slide is coming off of the west slope. Now we got a whole great big eruption out of the crater. And we got another that opened up on the west side, and the whole west side, northwest side is sliding down. Keep going, Jerry.
Insane footage here of Mount St. Helens in Washington erupting. You can hear the man on the radio. His name is Dave Johnston, and he's a hero. He's said to have saved many hundreds, perhaps thousands of lives as authorities were able to seal the area before the blast. All of this based on Johnston's real-time eyewitness updates and communication. The power of this is incredible. One guy in the comments wrote, "I was 9 days old. About 20 years later, I helped my dad put a new roof on our house, and there was still ash under the shingles when we removed them." Unfortunately, Mr. Johnson didn't survive this. And the legend has it that he knew he was too close to escape, so he ran to his car and covered his camera, sheltering it with his own body to protect the footage he had just captured. A photograph that first surfaced on the internet in 2022 has recently gained renewed attention. This image, which purportedly offers a clear depiction of Bigfoot, is unfamiliar to many. Hasn't been seen by many people. The story behind it takes place in the untamed wilderness of the Lewis River region in Washington state. In 1983, a man named John embarked on a solo expedition into this remote area, equipped with just a camera and a backpack. First mistake. John often ventured into this region, having hiked its trails many times. During this particular journey, he noticed an eerie silence enveloping the forest, one he hadn't noticed before. The birds had stopped chirping, squirrels, all the small animals seemed to freeze, and there wasn't even any sound of leaves rustling. Now, this particular phenomenon has intrigued researchers and enthusiasts for years, and really adds fuel to the fire about its possible connection to the elusive Bigfoot. Such silence is a well-documented occurrence. Witnesses across various regions and cultures have corroborated this. As John moved through the dense undergrowth and towering trees, he claimed to encounter something extraordinary. A figure standing amidst the sunlight that streamed through the trees. It was a creature over 8 feet tall with broad shoulders, powerful limbs, and a coat of dark fur. With shaky hands, he quickly raised his camera and captured a single shot. A clear-cut image of Bigfoot standing in the threshold of the trees. John described the experience as a profound moment. It was so surreal, he said that it was an out-of-body experience. Reflecting on the encounter, he shared, quote, "Capturing definitive proof of the creature felt like an incredible achievement. The terrain was challenging, and I often found myself straying from the trail. The spot where I saw the creature was dense with trees and foliage. While you can't see it in the photograph, I had to aim the camera through thick branches. I caught a glimpse of the creature for just a split second as it moved between the 2 trees. If I hadn't taken the shot at that precise moment, I would have missed it. My heart raced with excitement, and all I could think about was getting home to see what I had captured." When asked why he delayed sharing the photograph, John explained that, despite his attempts, it initially received little attention, and basically it prompted him to stop sharing it. However, after his image was recently posted in a group dedicated to investigating mysterious humanoids, it began to circulate widely, and he was hearing all sorts of opinions about the photograph. Some have dubbed it as the clearest image of Bigfoot ever captured. Of course, we've got the hoaxers, they're just dismissing it. We all know this pattern of skepticism often repeats whenever a supposedly clear image of Bigfoot is released. One enthusiast who studies Bigfoot sightings remarked that people frequently demand sharper images. Yet, as soon as they get one, they assume they are fake and just naysay it until the cows come home. Let's stop doing that, people. Anyhow, what do we think? I think this is a great image. Next up, we have a video recorded by a homeowner who was just kind of tidying up her property. It seemed like any other regular day until she came across an old horse saddle, which was left in the barn by previous owners. Well, she decided to burn the saddle, which, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And as you might have guessed, something strange unfolded. As the saddle burned, a white smoke appeared, drifting elegantly in front of the flames. What made it so eerie was how the smoke seemed to form the shape of a galloping horse, accompanied by the distinct sound of hooves echoing through the air. The homeowner believed she might have released the spirit of a horse that had been trapped within the saddle, watching it seemingly run off into the distance. Now, I know how that might sound, but just think about it for a minute. What if? What if? I mean, crazier things have happened. In this video, a man was walking home late one evening when he made the ill-fated choice to cut through the woods. Wanted to take a shortcut, eh? As he wandered deeper into the forest, a sense of dread began to creep in. About halfway through, he spotted something chilling. A pair of glowing eyes staring at him from behind a big tree. Curiosity got the better of him, so he cautiously approached to investigate. Yet, by the time he reached the tree, whatever was there had completely disappeared, leaving no trace. With his adrenaline pumping but unable to find any evidence, he continued on, trying to convince himself it was just his mind playing tricks on him. However, as he neared the edge of the woods, those same glowing red eyes reappeared, this time lurking just off the path. In an instant, the figure darted across the path, moving so quickly it was hard to tell its shape, but his gut told him it was a four-legged creature. Thankfully, he was able to escape the area and managed to reach home unscathed, but the unsettling experience stayed with him. Some have speculated that the creature could have been the elusive and dangerous Dogman, a cryptid rumored to roam the woods, known for its swift, almost supernatural movements. Did he really encounter the infamous Dogman, or was it something even more sinister lurking in those shadows? This footage comes from a trail camera set up in the woods by a guy just trying to observe the local wildlife. Boy, was he in for a surprise. Instead, the camera captured something unexpected. A dark, fur-covered figure with a dome-shaped head, staring directly into the lens. The eerie sight left the man baffled, his curiosity quickly turning to unease. Seeking answers, he shared the footage online, hoping for some clarity. His first guess was that the mysterious figure could be a Bigfoot. Yet, not everyone agreed. Some viewers suggested that the creature looked more like a gorilla than the elusive Sasquatch. Adding to the unsettling nature of the clip, there's a chilling legend about the area where the footage was captured. Stories of an ancient creature called the Shadow Beast, known to wander the forest and avoid human eyes. According to local lore, if you meet its gaze directly, you'll be plagued by strange dreams and the sound of footsteps that seem to follow you wherever you go. So, with that being said, what do you think? Did this casual observer capture Bigfoot? A rogue gorilla? The Shadow Beast? Or something far more sinister? Pretty crazy clip here. A man says a wolf basically flagged him down in the middle of the road and ran in front of him until daylight. The wolf eventually stopped and led the man directly to one of its pack who had been hurt on the side of the road. The wolf is growling, definitely weary of the man. Some of the pack watches on the hillside as a helicopter swoops down and picks up the hurt wolf. Having done his good deed, the man, who lived pretty close, went home. Lo and behold, a few hours later, the entire pack shows up at his house and would not stop howling. They eventually left, but would come back every now and then. A few weeks later, after the wolf was nursed back to health, she was released into the area. And sure enough, she showed back up to the man's home. Just an incredible story. What are we doing here, folks? What's the move? And no, lay there and whimper is not an option.